Oh, hello. I know. I bet you're wondering whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie trilogy? Well, I can't tell you, but just like my co-star, it rhymes with Pulverine. I have been waiting nearly 2 damn years to intro this video like that. Ever since Deadpool and Wolverine was announced back in late 2022. And now I finally have it. Alright there guys, welcome back to another video, and today it is time for Let's Talk About Deadpool and Wolverine. For the first time this year, we're actually covering a movie that released this year. So, without further ado, let's just go straight into it. So, the movie begins with Deadpool digging up Wolverine's dead body from when he died at the end of Logan. Which even includes him taking Wolverine's claws off of his dead skeleton and using them for himself. Hell, we even have a stylized intro with the song Bye 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 playing, and if this was any other Marvel movie, this song would not work in the slightest. It just wouldn't work. But because it's Deadpool, it works perfectly. Only Deadpool can have these types of scenes where the opening credits are literally playing through a happy, upbeat song while he's A, dancing, and B, killing people. Then we have our usual Deadpool scene where we have to recap how Deadpool got to where he is. So, turns out, after the end of Deadpool 2, Deadpool actually gave up being Deadpool and just lives his life as Wade Wilson. He even works at a car dealership with his friend Peter, who he recruited to the team back in Deadpool 2. And Wade complains about the Honda Odyssey and how it's such a terrible car. That becomes funny. That actually becomes quite funny later on. So while he's just living his life like normal, it becomes his birthday. He goes home, and everybody from the previous movie shows up. Colossus shows up. The taxi driver, he shows up. Angry lesbian teenager, as I like to call her, and her girlfriend Yukio, who, my god, we need to protect her at all costs. She is too precious to have any harm done to her. But while Deadpool was on his way home, he saw something suspicious, like a subway sign that he thought was looking at him. Yeah, it turns out it was looking at him, because this place called the TVA, which basically is the overseer of all timelines, the people from there send soldiers to kidnap Wade, to take him to the TVA's base, and shows him that he is going to die, as they show a scene from what's going to happen in the future to him, where Thor is holding him and crying, and Deadpool goes, is Thor crying? Obviously, Deadpool never takes anything seriously, which is what makes him such a likeable character. He gets told that he has an anchorman that helps him. The only problem with that is the anchorman is Wolverine, and he's dead. Died at the end of Logan. So Deadpool suits up, takes the device that allows him to just teleport through different timelines, and goes searching for Wolverine. He finds many different Wolverines. One of them's a dwarf, one of them's a mob boss, one of them looks like a rock star, but none of them are going to help him. Instead, all of them just beat the crap out of him. Then the final Wolverine he finds doesn't even bother getting up to attack him. So this must be the Wolverine we need. unfortunately for Wade, he gets told by the guy who runs the PTA, the TVA, that this is the worst Wolverine of the lot. This Wolverine let down his entire world. They don't really go into why. The only explanation they gave for this is when Wolverine himself saying that when everyone needed him, he walked away. Which is why he's some depressed loner drinking at a bar. Deadpool tells him that maybe we can save what happened to your timeline, because this Wolverine is not from the same timeline as Deadpool. So the two of them end up getting sent to this place called the Void, where this bald woman called Cassandra lives, and she was pretty much sent there as an infant. She's basically lived there her whole life. And she's the boss of the Void. Deadpool and Wolverine end up fighting each other when they enter the Void, because God forbid Wolverine ever wants to help Deadpool. So the two of them beat the ever-living shit out of each other. Which you'd wonder, how does Wolverine survive being stabbed so many times? We know why Deadpool survives, because he can't die, but don't Wolverine get stabbed just as many times and shot and is pretty much fine, just like Deadpool? Maybe that's got something to do with the Wolverine lore. I don't know any Wolverine lore, as I've never watched any movie with Wolverine in it until this one. So they also meet another Deadpool. This Deadpool is called Nice Pool, and he doesn't have the fucked up face of our Deadpool. It's just Ryan Reynolds' normal face. He's got like a kind of like a long samurai hairstyle at the back for his hairdo, and he says that he doesn't fight because he's got to keep this thing in tip-top shape. He also has a dog that is called Dogpool that keeps running to our Deadpool and licking his face, and then Deadpool decides to lick his face back. So they end up looking for some food while they're in the Void. And Deadpool tells Wolverine that he's making an educated wish that maybe if they do whatever they need to do, they can save Wolverine's time. That doesn't end up happening, of course. Why? Because that would be way too simple. So instead, they get kidnapped and taken by this guy Johnny, who is another member of the MCU. Do I know who he actually is? Do I? Hell, I don't watch Marvel movies outside of Deadpool. I don't know any. I know very little of these characters and who they are, what they're called. I don't know anything about these characters apart from the obvious ones that everyone knows. So they get taken to the main lair of the Void, and they meet Cassandra. She rips the skin off of Johnny, killing him pretty much instantly. And there's a joke in the post-credit scene, gives us a joke about that right at the end. She sends Wolverine underground, which then he comes up and shoves his claws through her. But because she has psychic powers, she's able to just deal with that. No one who's ever been taken into the main lair of the Void gets out. So naturally, Deadpool and Wolverine do get out of it. Then they meet some other heroes in the Void. More heroes that I also have never seen, don't know who they are, don't know what they're called. But we do meet a brand new. We do meet another hero who has a lot of relevance to Wolverine. X-23, the girl that he sacrificed himself to save at the end of Logan. She comes back and and actually has a new name. Her name is Laura, and she comes to help our heroes go back to the lair, fight their way through it. So they all do some major ass kicking before Wolverine and Deadpool make their way inside of the main lair to confront Cassandra one more time. The only thing that can stop her is Juggernaut's helmet, but he's dead. So they still find one anyway, because who needs logic in a Marvel movie? They put it on her head so her psychic powers go away, and threaten her that you will send us home. It's like, or I'll just kill you. No, you'll send us home. It's funny because she's able to like put her fingers through people's heads and like just go into their minds to see what they're thinking about. She did this to Deadpool the first time round, and she just sees a lot of what happened in between Deadpool 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine. She then does it to Logan and sees that he's alone with like a bunch of stones, like large stones, which ends up her seeing that she sees that he ran away from everything that he was fighting for, and he killed a lot of people because he wanted to. Which also led to, while that was happening, Deadpool had been thrown into a wall and was just watching them. She then creates the time rift thingy. You know how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appeared in No Way Home? The thing that the big circular portal that they came through? Pretty much the exact same thing. She opens one of those, and then Deadpool and Wolverine jump through it just in time. Just in time before it closes. Unfortunately, Cassandra decides to follow them through. She goes down to the lair, the main base of the TVA, and the guy that runs it, she puts her fingers through his skull fucking, as Deadpool calls it, through his head, and tries to learn on how to erase all timelines where the void is the only place left. And she sends a bunch of goons, but they're not just regular goons like most of the time. This time around we've got Deadpool, many Deadpools actually, an army of Deadpools. There's a Wild West one, a kid one, a samurai one, Lady Deadpool who just has boobs and long blonde hair, and Deadpool with a Wales flag across his front, which is definitely a reference to Wrexham, the football club that Ryan Reynolds co-owns. I was wondering if there'd be a reference to Wrexham, and that's the closest thing we're ever going to get in a Deadpool movie to Wrexham. So they beat the ever-loving crap out of all the Deadpools after nice Deadpool gets his head blown off, because he's the only Deadpool that can't regenerate, because of course he is. Epic montage of ass-kicking. But unfortunately for Deadpool Wolverine, all the Deadpools can regenerate. But Peter, in another Deadpool suit, turns up and saves the day, because apparently there's a Peter in every single Deadpool universe. All the Deadpools have a Peter in their own universe. Then Deadpool and Wolverine get themselves back down there, and they're told how to stop Cassandra. They need to go in to the two tubes that send the energy through and smash them, but they will likely die if they do that. So Wolverine tells Deadpool that he should be the one to do it because he ain't got nothing to come back for. Whereas Deadpool has a whole world to go back to in the pitch he took with all his friends from the beginning of the movie. So Deadpool ends up throwing Wolverine out and going in himself to sacrifice himself. But instead of doing that immediately, he starts trolling, or as he calls it, stalling, by just waving through a window in the door at Wolverine. Deadpool punches through one of the tubes and starts pulling out the energy, but he can't reach the other one. So Wolverine smashes through the door himself, puts his claws through the other one, and starts pulling it. And just in the nick of time, they manage to stop it from erasing all the timelines. And instead, the complete opposite starts happening. The timelines are being Deadpool actually saved his own timeline and is making it better. So Cassandra is just disintegrated within the explosion, which she ends up. So we're not going to see her again. So afterwards, Deadpool introduces Wolverine to all his friends. Then they go get something to eat. And even Dogpool shows up one more time. And that's how the movie ends. Then we get a load of different cameos during the credits, even including Stan Lee, that was a nice surprise. Not sure how they got a Stan Lee cameo when he died the same year Deadpool 2 came out, which was nearly 6 years ago now. But it was nice to see Stan Lee once again. Then at the end of the credits, Deadpool says, "Now I am not going to take the blame for killing Johnny." Or because Deadpool said to Cassandra a bunch of these things that Johnny said about her. Then let's watch the tape. Clicks on the tape, and all of the things that Deadpool said to Cassandra, Johnny actually did say about her, so Deadpool wasn't lying. And he finishes off by going, "Checkmate, face fuckers." And he clicks it off and the movie then ends. Overall, such a great movie. And it makes me happy that these are the only types of Marvel movies I've ever watched. And I'd like to keep it that way. Never say never. I might watch some other Marvel movies that are not Deadpool at some point. But for now, I'm happy the fact that Deadpool is the only Marvel movie franchise I've ever watched. Such a great movie. It great action, fantastic comedy. It was really, really funny. It made me smile quite a lot, laughing quietly in my head when watching. I liked what I saw of Wolverine, considering it's the first movie I've ever watched with him in it. And if you enjoyed the first two Deadpool movies, you're going to enjoy this one. So, thank you everyone for watching. If you've enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, see you face fuckers.